Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, on this wonderful Raids Day Eve. Tomorrow, the Root of Nightmares raid launches, and before I put my health through the ringer for another Day 1 emblem, I want to just get one more video out for you all today. The video in question is going to be highlighting 3 insanely good PvE meta weapons that came with Lightfall that no PvE player will want to miss out on. Considering the methods in which you obtain these weapons, I wanted to get this video out fairly early into the expansion to get as many eyes on them as possible. So without further ado, subscribe to the channel if you're a PvE main and want to see more PvE content, and let's jump into this. Kicking off today's video, we have to talk about a weapon that has been over 2 years in the making. November 10th of 2020 was the last time that we got one of these, so today, let's talk about the harsh language Void Waveframe GL. Now, of course, the last one of these that we got was the Deafening Whisper from Season of the Hunt, which I believe you can still get nowadays from Dares of Eternity, although the drop chance is super rare. So, why am I hyping up a Void Waveframe? Sure, waveframes are pretty damn good, but what's so special about this one? Well, aside from the fact that it went from like a Breachlight GL as like a blue rarity weapon to now a legendary weapon that is a completely different archetype, I don't know how that works. Aside from that, well my friends, the perks on this weapon practically turn it into an exotic, so let's discuss. Firstly, taking a look at the first column perks, we have incredible picks across the board. Threat Detector for reload around enemies, Wellspring for ability energy on kills, Field Prep for reload when crouching and reserve ammo, and finally Envious Assassin, which can allow you to load upwards of 3 in the magazine once you proc it. Now if you think that's good, just wait, because here in the second column we have Destabilizing Rounds, a new Void exclusive perk that causes any enemy around the one you killed to become volatile. This of course is very strong, but the main perk I want to talk about, at least for this specific season, is Repulsor Brace. Listen man, in the current climate of the PvE meta here in Season of Defiance, this grenade launcher will absolutely thrive. With the return of the Volatile Flow artifact perk, which gives you volatile rounds when picking up an orb, and the changes to build crafting in Lightfall, which basically centers every single build around generating and picking up orbs, this perk on this weapon will make you an unstoppable death machine. 3 in the mag, making every enemy volatile with Volatile Flow, and proccing a Void Overshield nearly every time you fire the damn thing just screams insanely overpowered. And of course, if you don't want to shoehorn yourself into a Void build, getting Destabilizing Rounds as your final column perk instead will allow you to be very effective while being able to run whatever subclass you want at the same time. Now, after hearing me ramble about this weapon, of course you're going to ask yourself, well Joey, how do I actually get this weapon? And that's the unfortunate part, because this weapon is purely a world loot drop, which is going to sadden me to no end. I have yet to get a Repulsor Brace or Destabilizing Rounds roll, but the season is still early, so we all have plenty of time. We don't have a world loot Umbral Engram to focus like we could in previous seasons just yet, but something tells me Bungie will add that in for those with terrible luck, such as myself. But let me know down in the comments below, do you have this GL yet, and if so, how is it treating you? Alright, on to the next. The Hero's Burden. And yes, I already know what you're thinking, why the hell is Joey talking to me about this mid-ass SMG when Minitool, Funnel Web, Ikelos, etc. already exist? The weapon is old news, yada yada yada, except it isn't, because see, Hero's Burden got a perk refresh in Lightfall, and let me tell you guys, I don't care how much you hate PvP, trust me, I don't like it either, but you have to run Iron Banner this season, get some engrams, and focus this weapon as soon as possible. The Hero's Burden, as it currently stands, is the only primary weapon in the game that can get Destabilizing Rounds, and for a primary, that is just an insane level of ad clear at your fingertips. It's practically like a soft version of Chain Reaction. It's just ridiculous. Taking a closer look at the weapon, you can see right off the bat that this gun is going to handle like a dream, thanks to that base 93 recoil direction. So for my console players, those that play on a controller, it should feel really good for you guys. And my current plan for whenever I start farming this bad boy is, because of the recoil direction, for the barrel I'm just going to lean straight into range, so I'm going to go with Hammerforged rifling to get as much as possible. Then for the magazine, I'm going to go with a pinned mag so that I can increase my mag size without having any penalty. And finally, I'm going to be pairing both Feeding Frenzy and the Destabilizing Rounds together for what will surely be one of the best SMGs in the game, no doubt. doubt. We have limited Iron Banners this season, and here are the dates for them. Make sure that you do not miss out on what could be one of the best guns in the game. Of course, I say this, and the raid is going to drop tomorrow and probably reveal an even better primary that has the stabilizing rounds, but I doubt it'll be an SMG, so still, go for this weapon. And if it is an SMG, y'all have the right to clown me in the comment section. Anyways, on to the final weapon for the video. The Immortal 750 RPM Strand SMG. Now, I alluded to this weapon back in my 𝗕𝗄𝗎𝗄 weapon set review, and now I can finally talk about it. Basically, if you're an enjoyer of the 600 RPM 𝗕𝗄𝗎𝗄 SMG, chances are you're going to like this one a lot more. Now, this weapon will be dropping from Trials of Osiris, which I know is incredibly unfortunate because at least Iron Banner has a chance to be enjoyable compared to the sweaty ocean that is Trials, but I think it might be worth shooting your shot and getting a good roll. When compared to the other very popular 750s, the base stats of the Immortal are pretty damn good. I mean, they look sexy, but of course, that's not the only reason you're going to want this thing in your inventory. So taking a closer look at the perks, the stats, the archetype, etc., there's a pretty clear winner in my opinion when it comes to Strand SMGs, and the Immortal is that winner. When it comes to the mainline perks, you have Perpetual Motion or Threat Detector. Those are probably the ones that you're going to want in that first column, with of course Hatchling being that final column perk. There is something that I find a little bit weird on this weapon, and that's the fact that it comes with the brand new origin trait called Field Tested, which states that defeating targets or damaging them with this weapon will gradually increase range, stability, handling, and reload speed. Now, I'm not sure how potent these boosts are to your stats, but it sounds extremely promising, and honestly, just the cherry on top of the cake for what's going to be a nasty SMG to pair with your favorite Strand builds. This season, we'll have Trials of Osiris rotate around quite a lot, so honestly, I might would just wait for a weekend where this is the featured weapon, or for whenever Trials gets double reputation before you start trying to get your hands on this thing, because otherwise farming it will definitely be more of a chore than it has to be. When you do get the roll that you want, however, I can almost guarantee that you will not be disappointed. There's just too much to love here on paper, and I absolutely cannot wait to tear through my enemies with this weapon. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for me today. Those are 3 weapons from Lightfall that no PvE player is going to want to miss out on. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the content today, as I feel this video wasn't quite up to par with my other ones, but I really did want to get something out for you all before what could potentially be a 24-hour live stream tomorrow with the raid, plus the downtime that I take afterwards to rest up and whatnot before getting back to videos and streams. So with that said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and as always, before we end things off, I gotta give thanks to my Patreon and YouTube members, as they help me do what I do each and every day. So for Patreon, we have 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏, John, Serenity, and 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 in Tier 2, with Austin, 𝘁𝗵𝗏, and 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 in Tier 3, and for my YouTube members in Tier 2, we have Rocky, Ghost, Hornby, Mad Ghost, 𝗁𝗐𝗍, Potato, Dawson, Brandon, Rampeak, Serenity, Hank the Tank, 𝗏𝗏𝗱𝗏, Mamimi Bluesman, Clear Angel, Ben McClellan, and Mayhem Gaming. Oh my god, there's a lot of you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.